I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sail? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my ear. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed, Would the wind always fill up my sail? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my ear. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do?
Here, let's stand together. Let's stand together and sing Living as Me. be. All that is spirit, peacefully living as me. Brandon? The mind that is spirit works as me. I will not doubt, no, I will just be. All that is spirit, mindfully living as me. The love that is spirit rises as me. I will not fear, no, I will just be. All that is spirit, lovingly living as me. One more time. The love that is spirit rises as me. I will not fear, no, I will just be. All that is spirit, joyfully, peacefully, mindfully, lovingly living as me. I saw you dancing, Laura Service. All right. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. Good morning. Whether you're here in person or joining us virtually, we would greatly appreciate it if you would share this live stream on whatever social media platforms you use to bring more of us together in community. I'll give you a minute to do that. And thanks. My name is Jamie Craig, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am thrilled that you are here. If you're experiencing Columbia Center for Spiritual Living for the first time, welcome. We want you to know whoever you are and whatever your spiritual path you are on, you are welcome and celebrated here. There are several ways, get ready, there are several ways to engage and connect in this spiritual community. We want to invite you to check out our website at I just want to say you can email us at info@columbiacsl.com, and for more information you can call our office at 410-750-8599. Oh, you guys are good. And now I get to share with you who we are and what we're up to. We are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. Guided by Spirit, together we build a joyously engaged, inclusive community intent on uplifting and transforming lives. We are a welcoming, inclusive spiritual center where everyone can be seen and heard, and we lovingly practice the principles of science of mind in the world. As a community, our commitment to inclusion calls us to embrace and celebrate everyone's unique identity. We begin by recognizing our diverse abilities, ages, physical characteristics, gender identities, national origins, faiths and spiritual paths, sexual orientations, ethnicities, and races. Then we experience one another at an even deeper level as we grow together in classes, workshops, in service to our shared spiritual community, because we have a blast. If you want to come early, please do. And just hanging out together. And we come together in spiritual community on Sundays to celebrate life. So let's do that again. Goodness of God. Everyone stand with me, would you please? Feels cozier. You know, I'm up here, me and Brandon up here all by ourselves. It's really nice to have you up here with us. So if you wonder why I always say, can you stand? I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my my days, I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. All my life. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. Oh, with every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yes, I will sing of the goodness of God. Amen. You may be seated.
Need a volunteer to read the candle lighting stuff. Who wants to do that this morning? Come right on.
Okay. Our founder, Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, was a dedicated study and a great synthesizer, identifying the common and connecting threads within the various religions, philosophies, and ancient wisdom teachings of the world. Science of Mind is the synthesis of Ernest Holmes' lifetime of study. Let us breathe in together as we light a candle honoring some of these faith traditions. As we light the first candle, we honor Christianity as a path of love and forgiveness. As we light the second candle, we honor Buddhism as a path of compassion and four noble truths. As we light the third candle, we honor Judaism as a path of ethical living through sacred law. As we light the fourth candle, we honor Baha'i as a path of unity and peace. As we light the fifth candle, we honor Islam as a path of surrendering to the will of God as the highest calling. As we light the sixth candle, we honor Confucianism as a path of deliberate tradition. As we light the seventh candle, we honor Taoism as a path of harmony and balance. As we light the eighth candle, we honor all indigenous peoples' traditions as paths that recognize and honor spirit in all creation. As we light the ninth candle, we honor Hinduism as a path of optimism in the inherent goodness of humanity. As we light the 10th candle, we honor Hinduism. Okay, I messed that up. We honored the 8th candle with Shintoism, as the path of optimism and the inherent goodness of humanity. As we light the 10th candle, we honor Hinduism as a path of knowledge, action, and devotion. As we light the 11th candle, we honor Akan as a path that honors the divine, ancestors, and nature. As we light the 12th candle, we honor all New Thought philosophies as a path of adherence to universal spiritual principles of law and love. As we light this final candle, we honor the multiplicity and diversity within the wholeness of creation as sacred. Namaste. And so it is.
So we're doing things just a little different this morning. We have our spiritual practice person joining us remotely because we can. We're going to use technology. So Dr. Lisa's going to come do our reading, and then Reggie Cap will do our spiritual practice from Florida.
The Integrity of the Person, from The Inward Journey by Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman. There is something strangely comforting and reassuring about the private pretensions under which we live. It is a matter of no little significance to know that for each of us there is a world apart in which the intimacy of thoughts and feelings may be safe from attack and violation. Much of what we mean by communication is limited to the deliberate choosing of thoughts, ideas, sentiments, feelings, which we direct toward others, yielding only the meaning that we intend, which may not be the meaning that is either true or honest. In time, we develop a dependence upon the impact which we make on others as the major source from which we draw an understanding of ourselves. Reverend Dr. Thurman goes on, I am impressed by the stories which have come to us concerning the life of the American Indian at a time far removed from the present. To him, so the accounts reveal, the Great Spirit brooded over all of life in general and particular. Before he went hunting, he invoked the Great Spirit. When crops were planted, when there was death and birth, he invoked the Great Spirit. In fine, all the common and special experiences of life were seen as being under the scrutiny and sponsorship of the Great Spirit. This meant that there was ever available the opportunity and the necessity for being genuine. The wall between the inner and the outer was very thin and transparent. The integrity of the act sprang out of the integrity of the person. There was no need to pretend. One dare not pretend to the Great Spirit. A crushing part of the sophistication of modern life is the phenomenal rise in the feeling for a protective covering that will make the integrity of the act an awkward procedure. Why is it that we are embarrassed by simple honesty and the directness in our communication with one another? And yet the hunger deepens and becomes more and more insistent for ridding ourselves of the tremendous burden of pretensions. We long for relationships in which it is no longer needful for us to pretend anything. The clue to the answer is in the awakening within us of the sense of living our lives consciously in God's presence. The habit of exposing the life, the motives, the dreams, the desires, the sins, all to God makes for the integrity of the person. Out of this flows the integrity of the act. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And so it is.
Good morning. As we let the reading sink in, I invite you to breathe deeply, to be still, to relax. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And as you breathe deeper, know that in this moment you are safe. You are loved. You are supported by the source of all there is. That's a lot of support. Be open to this presence. Be open to the wisdom within. Meditation is listening to that wisdom. And so that's what we're going to do. When I meditate, I like to ask, how can I be even more aware of God's presence? You may have your own question, and that's okay. Let's go within, and let's listen. If you find that your thoughts are wandering, just bring your focus back to your breath. Let's come back together in this time and space. And let's feel the power and the presence and the love that is in this moment. And in this moment. And in this moment. And together let's recognize that there is an eternal presence, an allness of life, a universal intelligence that is the source and substance of all there is, from the farthest stars in the universe to the tiniest cells of my body and in all the spaces in between. There is only one love, one beauty, one peace, one light. And I recognize this light and this love and this beauty in each one. I know that it is what I am. God in me, as me, is me. And as I know this truth for myself, I know this truth for everyone. And so that means we are all one. We are connected in this energy of love and power and presence. And so from this connectedness, I speak this word on behalf of Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. Knowing that this community is blessed, knowing that this time together is a blessing, knowing that we are grateful for every word that is spoken, every inspirational song and message that is given today, every nutrient, things that nourish our body, our minds, our souls. We are grateful. We are grateful for the technical support, for all of the hearts and hands that go into creating this beautiful time together. And so I know that this time of love, of community, of growth and expansion is divinely ordained. And I simply am so grateful for all of it. And so in gratitude, I let this word go, knowing that the universe, the law of the universe, has no recourse but to say yes. But to say yes. And so I simply have no worries. I let go. I let God. I allow it to be so. And so it is. Good morning.
Brandon. We want to share a new song with you that I get these downloads from the universe, in case I haven't told you that or you haven't heard me when I've said it, that come from a prayer time. So this is called We Are One.
Letting it in, I'll stay a while. I really matter, I am worthwhile. Ooh. We are one, we are one, we are one. Spirit as you, as me, and we believe. We are one, we are one. Love reveals all there is to see.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Let's take a breath together. Thought and non-thought, which has made me think a lot. And what I've realized is that most of what I think I'm thinking is not even thought, right? And before we get into that, I want to reiterate something about why we do the same songs. Good morning. Come right on in. For a month. The last 2 nights, I went to bed with Deborah. I woke up with Jamie. Neat trick, huh? The very first thought that I have been aware of the last 2 mornings is, from the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I am... It gets in there to where it just becomes this automatic, beautiful thing that happens. And if you happen to have a somewhat twisted thought process like myself, you can just okay, I went to bed with one woman and woke up with another one. Cool. And I'm not even in trouble. Nice. Right? It gets in there. And that's how we shift from non-thought to thought. Drip, drip, drip. Now, most of us, if we're being really honest, we would like that to happen, like turning on a fire hydrant, right? That we have all this non-thought, and I'm going to get to what non-thought is here in a minute, but I want to set the stage, right? That what we would really prefer is to just throw a big switch and have it all washed away at one time, and then we just live happily ever after. I have not found that fire hydrant yet. And if you find it, please let us all know where it is, right? What is it? Ponce de Leon. I'm going back to childhood now. Wasn't he the one that thought he had found the fountain of youth? Right? I've watched my hairline. I have not found the fountain of youth either. It's becoming progressively different. So what is non-thought? Non-thought is a lot of things, but we can best relate to it as the monsters under our bed when we were kids. Right? They're not real, but we certainly experienced them as real. Right? When you think there's a monster under your bed, your body believes you. Your body translates that to fear. It ignites biological systems. Those of us that just went through the Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, scientific evidence of how living in the illusion that there's a monster under our bed that's really just in our head. Now I feel like Dr. Seuss. Impacts our body. And it impacts our relationships. See, if I have a monster in my head about you, I will treat you like it's true. And now you're confused about why I'm relating to you like you're a monster, because you haven't done anything. If I believe my job is a monster, I will treat it like it's a monster. Here's the scary part. It's not true, it's not real, and yet within my thinking and how I relate to it, I make it real. Thoughts become things. They just do. Now, there are limitations to that, because I can stare at this chair all day long and think it's a pickup truck. It's going to keep being a chair, because there are laws in this physical realm that govern certain things. If I continuously think about some situation or some person that I have decided needs to change, good luck. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that's going to be frustrated. I'm pretty sure what's actually going to happen is the more I effort to change you, the more I change me. Garth Brooks has a brilliant song, I do these things not to change the world, but so that the world does not change me. Good morning. So glad you're here. Our call, our opportunity is to first recognize that there's a monster under our bed, right? To acknowledge it. Here's one of the scary things that we learned in the biology of belief. 95% of what we're responding to is the subconscious. 95%. Which means 95% of the time we're not aware. We're sleepwalking mentally. Wow is right. I mean, I read that a bunch of times going, maybe that's a typo? Maybe he meant 59? But no. 95% of the operation that we engage in this physical realm is unconscious. Until we take responsibility to live consciously, to live intentionally, to think intentionally. Right? We've talked this month about thought being that infinite intelligence, not our intellect, but infinite intelligence. Those ideas that come out of the blue. Sidebar, if anybody finds the blue, please tell me. Where is it? Because lots of things come out of it. It's the sky. Okay, I'll go with that for today. So where do these things come from? And I submit to you that they don't come from anywhere out here. They come from someplace in here. They come from the substance you're made of. Not the skin and bone, but the substance. The truth of your being. The God self, the spirit self, whatever word works for you, your divine self, right? That's what's talking to you. You have those, anybody else have, you're just sitting around doing nothing or doing lots of things, and all of a sudden a question pops into your head. Anybody else have that? Perhaps that is a divine moment to answer the question. Perhaps that is our divine spirit guiding us to know something that we don't know. Right? I mean, think about it. You're in the middle of something and this question comes up. What is going on here? Hey, answer the question. What is going on here? What is this all about? Hey, answer the question. Because you're going to find out two things. First, we're going to find out the non-thought. Right? Because most of us, our human tendency, what's actually going on here will be referenced to other people. Right? Because most of the time, that question comes up when things aren't going my way. Never do I recall ever a situation where everything was happening exactly the way I planned it, where I stopped and went, what is going on here? I have not had that yet. Not saying it can't happen, not saying it won't, saying it hasn't happened yet. So something is happening that I disagree with. And usually that's other people. And usually it's my projection of other people, because most of the time I don't even pause long enough to find out what you're actually thinking. I think I know what you're thinking, so I don't need to involve you. Right? Because if I involve you, I might have to adjust. Well, that is not happening because I'm right. Just ask me. Maybe it's just me. That's non-thought. Memory, non-thought. Most of us think our memory is accurate. It's not. Do you know that every time you remember a situation, you register it differently in memory? Every single time. So if you have a childhood incident, and let's just say you're 64, and you've remembered that every year for 64 years, you have 64 variations of that memory. And yet the 64th one is the one that is accurate. That is exactly how it happened. Anybody else have these conversations with their siblings? It's like you grew up in a different household, right? Because every time we remember it, we are remembering it with a different perspective. And so we add something different. And then that different gets cataloged as the most recent memory. The one most available, the one most inaccurate. Right? The same thing happens in our relationships. If you want to learn how to live in the moment, really want to learn how to live in the moment, go get married. Because really, it is so challenging to live with this one individual for an extended period of time and let everything that happened 5 minutes ago go. To live in the moment. To give up the privilege of saying, but you just said. But last week do you remember when you... Yeah. Right? See, the married people are all going, shut up. You're blowing it for me, shut up. That's my go-to. Yeah, it is. Right? It's our go-to at work. Our supervisor comes to us and says, this needs to be done this way. And instead of hearing, this needs to be done this way, most of us are like, but last week you said it needed to be done this way. So what? So what? There was a time I needed to crawl, and my parents taught me to crawl. Never have I, in the activity of walking, said to myself, but 64 years ago you crawled. Why are you walking now? Right? Things are supposed to change. They're supposed to evolve. The only time we get stuck is when we believe in the monster under the bed. When we believe it's real and we refuse to there's nothing under there. We get to do the same thing with our thoughts. And the most insidious one that I experience over and over again comes behind the word want. We think we know what other people want. Well, they just want to be that way. They're doing that because they want to hurt people. They're doing that because they want it all for themselves. They're doing this because they want that. You don't know what anybody wants unless you ask them. And I'll be so bold as to say most of the time, we don't even know what we want. Because we're so busy examining what everybody else wants, we've taken no time to examine what we want. What the divine inside of us wants. Not the human you. Not the you that is hungry and wants a sandwich. That's easy. But what about that place within you that wants you to wake up? That keeps asking you questions. Why are you doing this? Answer the question. What are you thinking? Answer the question. That's where the gold is. That's where thought lives. All of this other stuff, it's not thought. It's static. It's static that keeps us from thinking. We might just as well all be radios, that we turn it to a non-station and turn it up as loud as it'll go and go through life wondering why we can't hear. Even Jesus pushed beyond appearances to find the thought. Just wrapped up the class, Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom. And it was this glorious study of the parables. And over again, if you're not familiar with the parables, pretty much the whole book of Matthew, and there are cross-references in Luke and Mark, where Jesus starts over and over again. The kingdom of heaven is like. In like 3 chapters, he says it 23 times. The kingdom of heaven is like this. And one of the places that he goes is foreshadowing his own crucifixion. Foreshadowing his own crucifixion. And it's contained in a parable about a mother advocating for her 2 sons to be equal with Jesus. And his response is, are you ready to be tormented? And these aren't the exact words, but that's what he's saying. Are you ready to be persecuted for standing in truth? Are you ready to be ridiculed for standing in truth? Are you willing to be killed for standing in truth? Because you will be. See, he doesn't say in the parable you might be. He says you will be. And maybe that's what stops us from standing in our truth, is that we know, some part of us is very much aware that not everybody's going to agree with us. So what? So what? They already don't. They already don't. And here's the fallacy of it, and this is the big distortion that literally makes us crazy, is that so we default to misrepresenting ourselves, from living in a world of condition that we don't believe, that we know is out of alignment with the truth of our being, and then we have the audacity to wonder why we're miserable. See, we wind up creating our own ridicule, our own persecution from within to prevent it from without. How's that working for you? It doesn't work for me. There's a place in the Bible, this verse was used brutally against many of us. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Right? My experience is it was used to pummel me with it, to ingrain in me my indoctrination of unworthiness. Truth be told, if you go to the root words and the meaning of what is being said, it's actually true. For we have all made mistakes and fall short of living in alignment with truth. That's all that verse is actually saying. If you go back to the original Greek and the Aramaic, that's all it's saying. I make mistakes every day. How about you? Right? If we want peace, stop praying for peace and become it. If you want abundance, stop looking for it somewhere else and understand that you are it. We have to, because if I'm looking for it outside of me, I am living in the greatest delusion there is that everything I am isn't enough. If you're looking for anything outside of you, you don't know who you are. That's just truth. I don't like it either. Doesn't make it less true. See, the truth does not require my agreement. Doesn't. It's just true. North has never consulted with any of us about being North. It's just North. Truth is just truth. Be careful what you call truth. Right? Your ideas of what's happening in the world is not truth. It's opinion. It's perspective. Truth is every actor is God. I know. I went there last week. I'm going there again this week. We cannot say it's all God and then have people we want to throw away. Bruce Lipton does this beautiful, I have never seen it before, but this beautiful example of white light in a prism. And I'm going to wrap up with this. When white light comes through a prism, it is refracted into amazing colors, right? When God expresses itself through life, it refracts itself in amazing colors, in amazing diversity. Scientifically, if you reverse that process, and all of those colors that are in the refraction are sent back through the prism, you get back to your white light. How perfect. Herein lies the problem. And this is where my heart breaks. If you take away any one of those refractions, if you take away any color, if you take away any difference, and try to send that back through the prism, there is no white light. We cannot systemically throw away people. We cannot get rid of any expression of divinity and get back to divinity. Won't happen. Because I am so often asked, does it have to be this way? And my only response is ever going to be, apparently so. Because it's the way we're creating it. If you want something different, be something different. Let's take this into prayer. Life is. God is. Love is. Diversity is. One source, one substance, one wholeness, indivisible, nothing to throw away, everything to embrace and understand and embody. This is the truth of being, so it must be the truth of my being. It must be the truth of all beingness, from the tiniest microscopic speck to the most grand cosmos. All necessary, incredible expressions of one infinite something. And what is true of me is true of all. And so I speak my word recognizing that life is God individualized, moving about, recognizing itself. That the monsters under the bed are no longer a distraction. That we have the courage born within us to boldly look under the bed and face the nothingness that we put there. To look beyond appearance to truth. To answer all of those divine questions that rise up within our being, guiding us back to itself. We just answer the questions. And as we do, life is revealed to life. Love is revealed to love. Infinite intelligence informs our human experience. And healing happens. So grateful. The word spoken is the word fulfilled, and I feel that shift in every fiber of my being. And so I give thanks for the activity of law that instantly acts upon it and makes it so. Instantly brings it into my cellular experience that, oh wow, it's done. And so I get to walk in the faith of that, seeing it before I see it, knowing that as I see it, I will see it. I will experience it because I will be it. Grateful, grateful, grateful. And so in this gratitude, from this gratitude, knowing that the word has already been fulfilled, I let go. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. I don't know why I brought all these books up here. Because apparently I thought I needed them. See, there's that thinking thing again. All right, let's change gears, shall we? This is our time of... And if you would all treat for a microphone boom neck that fits on our stands, that would be lovely. Because then we'll heal this little thing up here. Let's say our giving affirmation together, shall we? I affirm the abundance of creation is my abundance. I give freely to sustain and grow Columbia Center for Spiritual Living as my beloved spiritual community that grows me spiritually. I give to ensure Columbia CSL's continued availability to all spiritual seekers. If I could have a couple of people to assist with this task.
In the chapter Rev Rafe was referencing about the mother and her boys, her men, her grown sons. When she came up to him, he said, "What do you want? Or what is it that you need?" And he asked that more than once, apparently. And in a really dark time in my life, I heard that question, and this was the answer that God gave me to the idea that there are monsters under my bed. All I need is you. All I need is you. You are the only one who pulls me through. All I need is you. And I can't face one more day, and all my problems seem to get in the way. That's when I remember all I need is you. All I need is you. All I need is you. You are the only one who pulls me through. All I need is you. Oh yeah, when I fall down on my knees and I whisper, Spirit, help me please. That's when I remember all I need is you. All I need is you. Oh, yeah, all I need is you. All I need is you.
There's that. So I speak a word of blessing, a word of gratitude for the infinite expressing through the prism as money. Grateful to sustain and grow Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. Grateful that we give through Columbia Center to do good work in the world as we practice the law of circulation. Grateful. And so it is. All right.
Okay, here we go. We're going to affirm some things. And hopefully it gets in there so when you're like driving down the street thinking you're not paying attention to nothing, all of a sudden what will happen inside your head is you will go, I am made in the image and likeness of God. The image and likeness of God is diverse and ever expanding. I freely express my diversity. And I invite and allow self-expansion. It can happen. And if, in the process of that, you run into some roadblocks, or if you got something going on in your physical life that you're challenged with and you need some help or want some help, these folks are trained to do that. They are trained to not give you answers. They are trained to remind you that you are the answer. And they are amazing tour guides to help you navigate you to get to the answer that you are. Right? But if you're going to them thinking that they possess a crystal ball, you have the wrong faith tradition, because they don't do that. We would love to support you in prayer. Send us an email to prayer@columbiacsl.com, and we will be happy to hold you in prayer for the week. You can also put a prayer request in that little wicker basket. I'm not sure technically what it is, but it's over there. And there are prayer request forms. And so please fill one out so that we can hold you in prayer. Got some thank yous. Thank you, Zita, for being on camera this morning. Thank you, Io, for setting up the the visual stuff and for running things. Thank you, Jesse, for being the backup this morning. Thank you, Eugene, for coming in, praying us up, and for holding us in consciousness throughout the service. It may look like he's asleep. He's really in prayer. It's called holding high watch. And he has been doing that the entire time for us, about us. Thank you, Laura Service, for setting up our welcoming stuff. Thank you, Joe, for setting up our hospitality stuff. Thank you, Dr. Lisa, for being our reader and for the offering. Thank you, Dale, for helping with the offering. Thank you, Amen, for jumping in to read. Thank you, Jamie. And thank you, Brandon, for our music. And thank you, especially Reggie, for our spiritual practice this morning. If you have never gone through the process of creating a recording for broadcast, you haven't lived. I'm just saying. You wind up with some of the craziest configurations with, trash cans and boxes on top of trash cans in order to get the right height. And it's just, if you saw what was happening behind the scenes to make that, it's just, there's no doubt that Spirit is creative, because it takes a lot of creativity to make that look so easy. So thank you for jumping through all of the hoops, Reggie. It's just a delight to expand and bring folks in. Reggie is one of our practitioners, and we get to use them even though they're not even in the state. How cool is that?
And thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Okay, so we finished with the biology of belief, and in April 4th, we're starting with super communicators. This is an amazing book. If you think you know how to communicate, there's more. And he brilliantly brings it home, all from the premise of there's 3 different kinds of conversations, right? There's problem-solving conversations, there's who are we conversations, and then there's what's actually happening for you. What are you feeling conversations? And if we're not in alignment, right, if you're having a problem-solving conversation and I'm having this is what I'm feeling conversation, we're not communicating. We just are not. And he teaches us how to ask questions that connect us. It's more than just a transfer of information. It's about enhancing human connection. So check it out. It's done on a love offering basis. Would love to have hundreds of people. We'll navigate that. Let's all become super communicators together. If you're interested in certificated classes, From Whence We Came is coming up. That starts April 2nd and goes through June 4th. it is a deep dive into the roots of New Thought and how it came to be. And it's just amazing to get perspective, because we tend to just talk about Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes synthesized a lot of stuff that you're going to learn about in From Whence We Came. You're going to learn about the women that really contributed to Science of Mind that aren't referenced by Ernest Holmes' names. You're going to learn about African American people that contributed to Science of Mind. If you don't know the name Sarah Flowers, you will by the time you're done with this class. Sarah Flowers was just brilliant. So I'm excited, and I hope you will come play. And now, I want to say this real quickly. Forgot to make a slide. This week and next week, the last 2 weeks, for this level of our values clarification process. And so I will make sure the link to that is in the newsletter. And I think we might have some actual paper sheets. Maybe not. If we don't this week, I'll bring them next week. Really want everybody's voice as we pare down from a whole bunch of values what our community 7 values are. And so we're paring it down, the top 25, and then we'll do it again to pare it down, and eventually the top 7 will rise, because that's how it works. Okay, now I'm going to shut up, and it's all yours, Jamie.
Well, join me standing as we close out this morning. I give God to this day. I hope that this has been, as my sister would call it, an earwig and sticks with you and something that comes back to you during the week. So stand with me as we give lots of things to this day. What would you like to give to God today? This comes from 365 days of richer living. It was a phrase in one of the readings that said, I give God to this day. So we'll start with this, and then I'll ask you what you want to give, and we'll sing about that. I give God to this day. I give God in every way, in all I do and all I say. I give God to this day. How about you? What do you want to give? What? Attention. I give attention to this day. I give attention in every way, in all I do and all I say. I give attention to this day. Anybody else? Light, delight. All right. I give delight to this day. I give delight in every way, in all I do and all I say. I give delight to this day. I give love and joy to this day. I give love and joy in every way, in all I do and all I say. I give love and joy to this day. Anybody else? Peace? I give peace to this day. I give peace in every way, in all I do and all I say. I give peace to this day. I give God to this day. I give God in every way, in all I do and all I say. I give God to this day. I love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. Hello, everyone.